Live, baby. Week 2 of the NFL season is upon us with the Thursday evening game completed last evening. But week 2 is here again. This will be a weekly tradition. Hopefully, I'll be able to do it locally from my apartment as I am this evening. But it's just after 9 o'clock Central Time here at Quarterback Film Room. Don't mind my dog in the background. But we're going to go over the games. I'm going to go over the individual games. My predictions on what will happen, what to expect from a quarterback play standpoint, and then also just from a game outcome standpoint. First and foremost, obviously we have to look at what I'm drinking this evening, Summit Saga. So it's a Summit IPA. If any of you are familiar with Summit, it's brewed in St. Paul, so it's near me. I'm based in Minneapolis, so it's Summit Brewery in St. Paul, Minnesota, their IPA. And it's a very clean-tasting IPA, so it's going to have notes of citrus, but it's going to go down rather smooth. There is a little bit of bitterness, but it's a clean bitterness. If any of you have ever had Lagunitas IPA, it's similar to that. So it's similar to Lagunitas IPA. But let's get on into it. Game-wise, we have, obviously, last evening's game, Baltimore-Cincinnati. Just a quick recap of that. Joe Flacco was very, very up and down. Mixed bag performance from Flacco. He was on at times, but his mechanics were sloppy. He was inaccurate. And on the other side of things, Andy Dalton played really good. So Dalton's continued his efficient performance, being accurate with the football on time and getting the ball out before his receivers break. So Dalton is trending upward, Flacco trending downward after last night's game. So let's move on over to the slated games for Sunday. So Kansas City at Pittsburgh. This is going to be an interesting game. I have the Chiefs pulling the upset behind Patrick Mahomes and that vaunted Chiefs offense. So I think Kansas City goes into Heinz Field. I think the Steelers, who are coming off a 21-20 tie with the Browns, I think they struggle a little bit offensively. Roethlisberger, 3 picks in week 1. No Le'Veon Bell. It is at home, but I feel like Pat Mahomes and that Chiefs offense are just going to be too vaunted. They're going to have too much momentum from that week 1 win in LA. So I think Kansas City 35, Pittsburgh 30. It'll end up being a shootout. Sam Darnold and the Jets host Miami and Adam Gase. I think this is going to be a close game. Detroit really wasn't up for the bell when they hosted Todd Bowles and the Jets on Monday Night Football. Sam Darnold and particularly the Jets defense looked amazing against Matt Stafford in the Motor City. Now, I think Adam Gase and Ryan Tannehill and the Dolphins offense come into this game a little bit more even keel, a little bit more confident than what the Lions came in when they played the Jets. So I see this game still going to the Jets. I think it's going to be a close game. New York 24, Miami 20. Philadelphia at Tampa Bay. So Ryan Fitzpatrick, 408 yards passing in week 1, 21-28, 4 touchdowns. Looked like an elite thrower of the football down the field. Okay, so he was dictating, where he wanted to place the football deep down the field. Okay, so if he wanted to be precise and throw the football within like a 2-foot box, he could do that on the back shoulder throw in the red zone. Or if he wanted to just let it loose 50+, he could do that as well, multiple times hitting Deshaun Jackson deep down the field. So I think Fitzpatrick continues his hot level of play. This Eagles defense is really good, though. They're really good. So he's obviously not going to be able to pick the Eagles defense apart like he did the Saints defense. The Saints are predominantly a show what they're going to do pre-snap. They play a lot of man coverage. For the quarterback, it's an easy. There's a lot of easy indications from a reading the coverage standpoint. Not the case with Philadelphia and Jim Schwartz. So Fitz will struggle a little bit in this game, but I still have the Bucs winning. Okay, it's going to be Fitz versus Nick Foles. Who do you got? So I think Fitzpatrick ends up his play's going to drop off, but the Bucs win 20-19. Cleveland visits New Orleans. Now, this is going to be a big-time win for the Saints. The Saints are going to go off. The last time the Saints played Cleveland, albeit 4 years ago, they tore them apart in Cleveland. This is in the Superdome. It's going to be loud for Tyrod. The Saints defense will be extremely upset about what happened and what transpired last week. So I think the Browns offense doesn't necessarily have their way with the Saints defense like we saw the Buccaneers had last week. So I think New Orleans ends up winning this game 40-24. Drew Brees has another strong outing. Indianapolis visits FedEx Field. I think Alex Smith and Jay Gruden win this football game. They go to 2-0. Andy Luck and the Colts fall to 0-2. I think at home, Alex Smith and Adrian Peterson continue to shine, and the Redskins pull this one out 30-21. San Diego at Buffalo. It's Josh Allen time, people. It's Josh Allen time, and Sean McDermott has, he's the CEO of that football team. He's the guy charged with making quarterback decisions. He has an offensive coordinator in place in Brian Daboll. I'm not sure how much input Daboll has in this thing, but in terms of McDermott and how he's handled this quarterback situation, I don't have a huge problem with it. Now, obviously, he has made bad decisions at times with, number one, trading A.J. McCarron. Why did he need to do that? And then starting Nate Peterman, I sort of get it. But he's just been so close to the vest with all of his decisions about this thing, his thought process, what's taking place. But now it's Josh Allen time, so they're going to let him fail or have success. But either way, I think it's good for Josh Allen. He's going to have an opportunity to play. And that's how quarterbacks get better. They don't get better sitting on the sideline. They get better actually out there doing things. So that's what we see this week. I think the Chargers win this football game, but it's closer than you think. I think the Chargers win this football game. Josh Allen shines at times, but ultimately throws a few costly picks. So Vikings at Green Bay. Kirk Cousins visiting Lambeau Field. Is this why the Vikings signed Kirk Cousins? Did they sign him to be able to go in and beat the Packers at Lambeau? Let's see. Who last beat the Packers in Lambeau for the Vikings at quarterback? Case Keenum. Didn't Teddy Bridgewater go into Lambeau in 2015 perhaps, maybe 2016, and beat the... Well, it obviously wasn't 2016, so it was 2015. Bridgewater heads to Lambeau late in December, beats the Packers. Sam Bradford plays well in his 2016 at Lambeau contest. So, past Viking quarterbacks have gone into Lambeau and beaten the Packers. It's the Vikings defense that has always crumbled in Lambeau. Rodgers throwing for over 440 yards, 4 touchdowns in 2016 in a December at Lambeau contest. So if Rodgers plays, honestly, I don't think he's playing. I just don't think he's playing. You can't risk it. He's going to get hit a lot if he does play. What are the odds of him really messing up his knee or leg because he can't move like he normally does? Even if he doesn't move and he plays like he did against the Bears, 3-step stuff, balls out, timing and anticipation, throwing with that great internal clock, I have always said, Rodgers is elite at being this type of quarterback. On time, rhythm, touch, anticipation, throwing receivers open. It's just that he chooses not to do that. 80% of the time he's choosing not to play like that. And he's picking his spots on when he wants to. But now if he has to play like that, he's still going to get hit at times because the Vikings front four is so solid. So there's a possibility for, if Rodgers plays this football game, there's a possibility that even if he plays well, the Packers still lose. And even if he plays well and plays, he gets hurt. Even if he stays in the pocket and does not try to improvise. So I think this game, I think the Vikings win. I think Kirk Cousins does just enough. He overcomes a few second half turnovers. And the Vikings defense just grinds it out for him. So I think the Vikings win a close one. Fairly high scoring affair, maybe 30 to 24 maybe. Carolina at Atlanta. This is going to be a defensive struggle, I think. It's a low scoring affair. It's in Atlanta. Atlanta's offense really having issues. Cam Newton and Norv Turner, I think they get more comfortable week 2. I think Norv allows Christian McCaffrey to get more involved. I think the Panthers win this game on the road by just a few points. Maybe a last-second field goal. Houston at Tennessee. Bill O'Brien, Deshaun Watson had a less than desirable performance week 1 at Foxborough. So now they travel to Nashville to see if they can make things a little bit different. So in this particular game, I feel like Marcus Mariota, he's in limbo in terms of if he's going to be able to go. So Blaine Gabbert may be the guy there for this game. And if that's the case, we're going to see a little bit more precise passing, but we're going to see not the type of decision-making that Titans fans have become accustomed to seeing from Marcus Mariota. Smart decision-making, athletic ability, etc. So Gabbert's a little bit hit or miss. If Gabbert starts, I feel like the Texans win. If Mariota goes, it'll be a close game, and I have the Titans pulling it out late in the fourth quarter. So it'll be interesting to see if Mariota plays. Arizona travels to the Coliseum in L.A. So Steve Wilkes, Mike McCoy, Sam Bradford, David Johnson and company head up to the Coliseum to play McVay and the Rams, Jared Goff. They're coming off a road victory at the Coliseum in Oakland. So I think in this game, I think the Rams will try to continue to be who they were Monday night. Timing and anticipation throws for Goff, play action, being able to call really creative plays, at times from Sean McVay, and really get the ball to their playmakers in space. So I think, obviously the Rams will win this football game. I think Sam Bradford plays better, but really that Mike McCoy system is just not a well-oiled machine at this point. And Mike McCoy's a guy who, as a coordinator, from a confidence standpoint, it's just been dropping since 2016. Okay, obviously he got fired last year from the Broncos. But he's a guy who may be sort of like Adam Gase, although I think Adam Gase is a better offensive coordinator, play designer, schemer, caller than Mike McCoy. Mike McCoy and Gase, both beneficiaries of Peyton Manning from 2012 to 2015 when they were in Denver with him. And then also Phillip Rivers. So now McCoy is sort of on his own, and the Cardinals offense will continue to struggle. Rams over the Cardinals in that game. Detroit Lions head to San Francisco. Two teams who really disappointed from an offensive standpoint in week 1. So the Lions go to SF. They need this game too in order to have any realm of opportunity to stay alive in the NFC North. I know it's only September, and then the Niners with Kyle Shanahan and Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo played poor. I mean, he really struggled against the Vikings. There were times when he was on point, he was precise, but then there were other times last week Jimmy Garoppolo was just horrible, like just making bad decisions, inaccurate with the football, possibly crumbling under pressure at times, arm strength limitations. So watch to see if Jimmy G has a rebound performance against Detroit. Now we saw what Sam Darnold was able to do to that Matt Patricia Lions defense. Will Jimmy G be able to do similar things? Oakland at Denver. Now Case Keenum, 3 TDs, 3 picks, over 300. Week 1 showed the ability to respond from adversity, but also showed some of those turnover tendencies that he's had in the past. Now, Oakland goes to Denver. Expect the Broncos to win this game. I think Keenum plays well, but expect Denver over Oakland and Derek Carr struggling. New England travels to Jacksonville. The Jaguars are beating the Patriots in this football game. Blake Bortles, Doug Marrone, everybody that's involved in this game from both sides has already acknowledged that it's going to be a very emotional setting down there in Jacksonville. And I have the Jags upsetting the Patriots. And this is going to be our primetime CBS game, 4:25 Eastern. And then Eli Manning and the Giants travel to Dallas on a Sunday night. Giants at the Cowboys. This has just become a staple of early season NFL football. Is New York at Dallas Sunday night. So Pat Shurmur is on the big stage. Dak needs a rebound game. Both these teams struggled up as well in week 1. So will Eli be able to rebound? I don't think so. I think Dak uses his athleticism to run around a little bit in this one. generates a little bit more rapport with his wide receivers, and the Cowboys win this one probably like 35-20. Maybe the Giants score a last-minute garbage TD. And then finally, Monday evening, we have Seattle at Chicago. Russell Wilson and Schottenheimer traveling to Chicago. I believe Mitch Trubisky plays out of his mind in this game, like just lights out. Mitch Trubisky's lights out in this game. Russell Wilson just has to do way too much. He'll be forced to attempt to carry the load, and I believe that Mitch Trubisky, Matt Nagy, and company win the primetime Monday night affair against the Seahawks. So there you have it. There's our picks for this Friday. Thanks for joining, guys. Check out our quarterback analysis service. You can check out our products visiting qbfilmroom.sells.com. You can also check out our YouTube channel, which has a variety of scheme analysis, player analysis, and other forms of quarterback analysis videos, free videos, over 200 of them. Our analysis products take things a step further with our publications. We have a pro quarterback publication, a rookie or a draft quarterback publication, and then our 12-month analysis service, which has a variety of features that you won't find elsewhere. So check those out, qbfilmroom.sells.com.